Hey folks, today I'm replacing a water pump on this Ford Transit Connect. It's a fairly straightforward job, thankfully, as the water pump is driven off the auxiliary belt as opposed to the timing belt. The first step is to drain the cooling system. You can do this either by removing the bottom radiator hose or by using the drain valve that's in the bottom of the radiator on this model. Once we have the fluid drained from the system, we can remove the header tank for the radiator. There is a 10mm bolt at the front and a plastic tab you can pry out at the back. And we can move the radiator tank, the header tank, just across out of our way. This now gives us access to our left engine mount, which we need to remove because the water pump is directly below it on the auxiliary belt. Before taking off the engine mount, we'll need to support the engine, so slide a jack under the left hand side and just put a small amount of pressure to hold the engine. The two bolts or nuts on the right hand side are 18mm, the two on the left going into the chassis rail are 15mm. I'm just going to use a breaker bar to loosen these. To remove the engine mount, it might need a tap of a hammer just to loosen it from any rust or corrosion that's built up. We can see it's just popped loose. And that's our engine mount out. The next thing we have to remove is the timing belt cover. There are 4 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3 and 4 that we have to remove. Then we have to remove the front stud for the engine mount. If you put 8mm socket on the top, you'll be able to screw it out without any problem. Once it's out, we can remove the cover. The timing belt cover out of the way. You can now clearly see our water pump pulley, and we have to remove the entire engine mount bracket to get at the water pump, because the water pump curls in and around behind this bracket. If we look at our new pump, we can see the curved portion on it, which sits in behind the engine mount bracket. So there's 4 10mm bolts again on the engine mount bracket. So we'll take those out now. With the engine mount now removed completely, it gives us full access to the pump itself. I would recommend at this stage to slacken off the 4 bolts just to break them loose off the pulley. And then we can, using our long 15mm spanner, take the pressure off the belt. And we can pop it off. With the 4 studs out of the pulley, we can take it off and put it onto our new pump. We now have full access to the 7 bolts on the water pump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then we can slide the water pump out to put in our new one. When we have the 7 bolts out, they're 8mm by the way. The bottom right is a 10mm. When we've got it out, we should be able to wiggle the pump and lift the whole thing out. And that is our pump. We also need to remove the gasket. The new pump should come with a new gasket, so we can throw that one away. So installing our new water pump is pretty much a reverse operation of everything we did to get the old one out. Just be careful to clean the area for the gasket between the water pump and the block, and also use a bit of thread locker on the bolts, especially the bolts for the engine mount, and torque them to spec as well. And that's everything back together now. To bleed the system, we can just fill up the header tank and leave the lid off it until the engine warms up fully, and it'll bleed itself. Thanks very much. Bye.